Welcome back, YouTube. I thought I'd take the time to show y'all how this little piece turned out, and hopefully I got this little light here. I managed to get enough light to show you that it actually glows in the dark. There we go. Yeah, it's really hard to see with this camera. But after getting this out of the mold, I was really amazed of how well this pendant turned out. It still needs a little work. Unfortunately it's still a little soft. But I'd like to show you some of the pieces that actually came off. The box that you've seen in my previous video. Now, this looks kind of interesting. I might actually make this into a pendant. Let me know in the comments below if you think I should continue to see if I can make it into anything interesting. This piece I started on last night, and as you can see, it really glows in the dark. I was actually hoping to get some resin made up so I can do a full resin casting on it, but I think I might save that for my next video because I need some type of tape to go around this, and I might actually cut this down to size a little bit. Now this piece I forgot to show y'all in the last video. I captured some type of wasp or hornet. I'm not sure which one it is, but I managed to actually encase it in some of my plastic material. My first little wearable pendant still needs a little bit of work. Unfortunately, the glow-in-the-dark glue got a little too baked, so even though it's wearable, it just, the shape and the color, it just kind of ruined. But other than that, it still looks pretty interesting. And under a black light, this will actually glow. This was supposed to glow, but it's got some issues. Now this has been in the freezer for a while. I've tried numerous ideas to try to get it to fully harden. I thought maybe if I froze it and pulled it out that way. Apparently it worked, but I think it's somehow pressurized in the freezer. But it glows as well in some areas. Now this little piece I was working on last night, it looked a lot better, but I decided to put it under a bright light to see if I can speed up its curing time, which worked, but the dye that I used actually got a little too hot and it turned a darker color, so I'm going to try to make another one, but at least it was okay for a test piece to see if it might actually work. And this is what I used as a mold. Find these in any little random 25-cent machine for getting little toys out of. But this one also glows in the dark. Let's see if we can get it to glow a little bit more. Very little, and it's hard for the camera to lock into it or lock onto it. Now, unfortunately, this piece doesn't glow in the dark. This was actually made the same day that this one right here was made, but this one cured really quickly, but it's still a little sticky, not as bad as it was. But this type of resin isn't made for casting. This is the resin I used. Some of the items you can possibly do with this type of resin. But as long as it turned out clear, I'm actually quite happy with it. Took a little bit of my leftover resin and just let it drain on top of this before it was cured. I sort of got my fingerprints stuck on there by mistake. It got a little dirty, so I might just sand that completely off. I thought it might look a little interesting, making some type of pendant, or just make something cool out of it. Now, this I also made last night. It's a shame I don't have a black bulb in here to show you how this looks under a black light, because it is really interesting. Took a lot of 2 or 3 different colors just to make this. This black material here is actually from a big black tote that got busted up a little bit. But I am really thankful this one finally came out of it, that I finally got it to come out of its mold. And even though it's still a little sticky, it's still interesting. I mean, I put a lot of work into it. Went out, collected a lot of different plants to put in there. Some of the items decided to float to the surface. So, because I took one of my pine cone pieces and actually glued it to a flower, and I thought it was going to look really interesting. Oof. But I still can't believe how well this thing glows in the dark. I mean, it could glow a lot better. And this is some of the pieces that came out of the that huge blank in my last video. I don't know if I'll shape these up or trim a little extra plastic material off and then encase them in resin. I thought I had something else to show y'all, but apparently not. But let me know in the comments down below what you may think, and hopefully in my next video I will show you how to make the mold. Hopefully I do it correctly and a little bit better, because this was a really big pain to get out. Still have a bunch of pieces left. I tried to salvage as much of these as I could just so I can maybe make another mold, but it happens. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think, and hopefully I'll be making some more resin pieces for y'all to see. Thanks again. And I'd like to give a shout out to Ben's Works. He works on a lot of different resin projects. He's got stuff that will blow your mind. And also Veronica Johnson. She's very sweet girl. Good friend of mine. We don't know each other on a better basis. I mean, I'm just a fan turned friend. Never met her in person. I live in North Carolina. She lives in LA. And if you think this would look better in resin, or possibly encased in plastic, clear plastic of course, let me know in the comments below. Thanks again for watching. Have a good night. God bless.